तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam thematic series, part 3. The third thematic series is the 6 answers by Suta Goswami to the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. And this is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, second chapters and third chapters in brief. And we began this discussion in the last 2 classes with the second chapter, where Suta Goswami, before answering these questions, he offers his respectful obeisances to Sukadev Goswami, his spiritual master. And these are some of the most wonderful verses which form as the prayers and the Mangala Charan, which is to emulated by all other learned speakers. And I was mentioning that even some of the traditional Bhagavad Kathakars and even Radha Govind Maharaj recites these verses before he speaks the Bhagavatam, especially this verse, Yam Pravarjantam Anupaitya Paiti Krityam Dvapayano Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Nedus Tam Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Muniman Natosmi. So we saw this verse, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary and Prabhupada's commentary on this. And then this is also one of the most important verses. Yasvanubhavam Akhila Shruti Saramekam Adhyatma Deepam Matitirshitam Tamondham Samsarinam Karunaya Purana Guyam Tam Yasunumupayami Gurum. So we also discussed this verse. And now today we will discuss after offering obeisances to his spiritual master, Sukdev Goswami. Now, as a part of invocation, he offers his respectful obeisances to the speaker of the Bhagavatam, the original speaker, Narayanam Namaskrityam. So, this is the verse, which is a very important verse, which we also recite every day when we give the Bhagavatam class. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. After offering respectful obeisances, Namaskritya, unto the presiding deities Nar Narayan Rishi, Narayanam, unto the subject of the work Krishna, Naram Chaiva Narottamam, unto the Shakti of the work Saraswati, Devim Saraswatim, and unto the sage entrusted with the work Srila Vyasadev, Vyasam, one should utter Jaya, Tato Jayam Udiraye. So Suta offers respects to Devta presiding deities. So every scripture has a Devta and there are the presiding deities. So the presiding deities for the Srimad Bhagavatam, because he has decided that he is going to speak the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam, this is Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's translation, was, we saw in 112 Dharma Projita Kaitava verse, Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni. So there the Mahamuni Vishwanath Chakra Thakur mentions it is Narayan who first spoke this Bhagavatam. Mahamuni can also refer to Vyas Dev, but Vishwanath Chakra Thakur says it is unto Narayan. Mahamuni is Narayan, who originally, compiled and contemplated this verse and spoke it. So now the respectful obeisances in unto Nar Narayan Rishi, this is taken as one avatar. So that's why this is Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's translation. Prabhupada translates this verse a little differently. If you see in his commentary and translation, Prabhupada translates it before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest. Tato Jayam Udire. One should offer respectful obeisances, Namaskritya, unto the personality of Godhead Narayan. So that is, Naran Chaivan Narottamam. Unto Nar Narayan Rishi. That is here. Narayanam. The supermost human being unto Mother Saraswati. Devim Saraswatim. The goddess living unto Srila Vyasadev, the author, Vyasam. So little slight difference in the way Srila Prabhupada has translated and Vishwanath Chakra Thakur. So let us go first into Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary and then we will go into Prabhupada's commentary. Oh, first there is Prabhupada's commentary. Okay, let us take Prabhupada's commentary. So Prabhupada in his purport only focuses on one theme which is there in one of the padas of the verse, and you will have to tell me which it is. All Vedic literatures and Puranas are meant for conquering the darkest region of material existence. So, which part of the verse is Prabhupada focusing on? Who will tell? Raise your hands. Naiminath Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu. Prabhuji, we are speaking about Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narattamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire. This verse we are speaking, and Prabhupada is writing a commentary through that verse. And this is first line, Narayanam Namaskritya. The second line is Naranchaiva Narottamam. The third line is Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. And the fourth line is Tato Jayam Udire. So which line among these four lines is Prabhupada commenting in his purport? That is my question.
Oh, sorry. I just thought
Anyone else would like to try? Which line of the verse is Prabhupada commenting on? Yes, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Pro. It is Tato Jai Mudire.
Yes, it is Tato Jaya Mudire. So Prabhupada only focuses on that, Tato Jaya Mudire. One should jay, one should conquer. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. We should conquer material existence. The living being is in a state of forgetfulness of his relationship with God due to his being overly attracted to material sense gratification from time immemorial. His struggle for existence in the material world is perpetual, and it is not possible for him to get out of it by making plans. If he at all wants to conquer this perpetual struggle for existence, he must re-establish his eternal relationship with God. And one who wants to adopt such remedial measures must take shelter of literatures such as the Vedas and the Puranas. So one is caught up in the material existence. If one has to get out, one has to catch. Just like you're drowned in a well, so you have to catch the rope. The rope is thrown by the Lord in the form of these four sampradayas. So one has to establish his relationship with the Lord, and that relationship with the Lord has to be established through the teachings of the Vedas and the Puranas. Now, because Sut Goswami is going to recite the Srimad Bhagavatam Purana, Prabhupada speaks, foolish people say that the Puranas have no connection with the Vedas. Actually, the Puranas are the explanation of the Vedas. However, the Puranas are supplementary explanations of the Vedas intended for different types of men. All men are not equal. There are men who are conducted in the mode of goodness, others who are under the mode of passion, and others who are under the mode of ignorance. So those who are not highly qualified to learn the Vedas, because the Vedas means the four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sam, Atharva, where you have to go through all these samskars and have the adhikar to study the Vedas. So those who are conducted by these modes, for them, the Puranas have been given. The Puranas are so divided that any class of men can take advantage of them and gradually regain the lost position and get out of the hard struggle for material existence. Srila Sut Goswami shows the way of chanting the Puranas. So Sut Goswami is going to recite the Bhagavad Puran. So he is going to chant the Bhagavad Puran. To chant the Vedic mantras, one has to be trained. One has to be in the extreme mode of goodness. And this there are various meters. They are very fine and very subtle. And without very rigid practices, under a very expert bona fide acharya, it is difficult to chant these Vedic mantras. So, but the Puranas are written in a very simple way, which are in the form of stories, and they explain the meaning of the Vedas itself. So that's why Prabhupada is saying Puranas are the supplementary explanation of the Vedas. So Suta Goswami is showing the way of chanting the Puranas. this, this may be followed by persons who aspire to be preachers of the Vedic literatures and the Puranas. Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Puran, and it is especially meant for those who desire to get out of the material entanglement permanently. Now, Prabhupada speaks about the special qualification of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Although all Purana chanting, is good, but the best Puran is the Amal Puran, Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's how Prabhupada ends his commentary. We will take Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary, which is a little technical and philosophical, and then we will take up any questions. Having offered respects to Guru, Suta offers respects to Devata, presiding deity, etc. So he has offered his respects to Guru in two verses. The last two verses we saw, second and third verse. Now, Suta Goswami is offering respect to the Devta and the presiding deity, Narayanam Namaskrityam, Nar Narayan Rishi. Nar Narayan are designated as the presiding deities of this work since they have authority over the place. Because Nar Narayan originally in the Badrika Ashram spoke this. Note, Vyas first wrote the work in Badrika Ashram where Nar Narayan preside. So not only Nar Narayan first time spoke in Badrika Ashram, Vyas himself also compiled this work, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is available here to us. He compiled it in Badrika Ashram. The Devata, subject of the Bhagavatam, is Krishna, Narottamam, just like Purushottamam. Purushottam Yoga is there in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Purusha Uttamam. Among all the Nara, he is the Uttamam, the topmost. So the Devata, the subject of the Bhagavatam is Krishna. Saraswati is the Shakti. Now here there is a note. This is not the material deity. In the spiritual world exist counterparts of the Devatas of the material world who assist the Lord in his pastimes there. For instance, Divya Saraswati gives Krishna mantra to Brahma in Brahma Samhita. So there are the material counterpart deities and the spiritual counterpart deities. This is not very known to the devotees. Just like Ganesh, Ganesh is a devata, demigod in this world. He's part of this world. But there is Ganesh in the spiritual world. He is eternally a Ganesh personality who is a pure devotee who is residing in the spiritual world. This Ganesh, who is a demigod, and you know that any jiva can uh, by pious activities, spiritual activities, if he gets adhikar, he can become a devta. So this Ganesh deity in this material world draws his energy from the Ganesh, the spiritual counterpart from the spiritual world. Similarly, there is Yamaraj there in the spiritual world. He is a pure devotee of the Lord. And in this material world, anyone who has followed the Vedic rules and regulations for many, many lifetimes, to on behalf of the Lord, he can become Yamaraj. So this is a jiva who has got the adhikar to take that post of Yamaraj. And this Yamaraj, to rule over all living beings, gets his energy from the Yamaraj sitting in the spiritual world, his spiritual counterpart. So that is how it is. I hope it is clear. And when Yamaraj was cursed by Manduk Rishi, he came as whom? Anyone knows? He came as whom? Here in the Krishna Leela. Yes, Devahuti Kapil Prabhuji.
Vidura.
Vidura. So when Yamaraj actually personally came here as Vidura, who was occupying the post of Yamaraj there then? Devahuti Kapil Prabhuji was occupying the post.
I'm not getting it. I heard.
Aryaman was occupying this post. So the Saraswati, there is a deity of Saraswati, the Vidya Devi, whom the materialists also worship. The materialist who worship this Saraswati, which is part of this material world, she cannot give transcendental knowledge. She might give at best, Vidya, by which you can destroy avidya. But transcendental knowledge about the Lord, is only given by the Lord and his pure devotees. So that's why this Saraswati refers to Divya Saraswati. I hope it is clear. The word Cha indicates the Rishi of the work. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchai Cha is there. Cha indicates the Rishi of the work, that is Vyas. Now, there's a footnote. Before reciting a mantra or a scripture, it is customary to utter the name of the sage who revealed the mantra. In this case, Vyas. Vyas is the one who revealed the scripture to us. The meter, the Gayatri meter is there. The form of the Lord, which is the subject of the mantra, that is Krishna. The bija of the mantra, Om. That's why it starts with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The Shakti of the work or mantra, Saraswati. And the Adhishtatra Devata, Narnarayan. And the purpose of uttering the mantra. What is the purpose of uttering the mantra? To conquer material existence. And Prabhupada in his purport just focuses on that. Because he knows today we are not so much familiar with all these but yes, we should know from some editions have the word Vyasam instead of Chaiva. So some editions have instead of here Narayanam Chaiva, they have Narayanam Vyasam. They have some editions of the Bhagavatam that he is clarifying. That makes the meaning clear. By having Vyasam, the meaning is clear. Even Che also indicates the Rishi. The bija is Om and the meter is predominantly Gayatri. Since the first verse of the Bhagavatam begins with Om and reference to Gayatri. Having offered respect to these persons, one should utter Jai. One should utter Jai. This is the verb form calling out Krishna with raised hands. Jai Shri Krishna, victory to Krishna, victory to Krishna. So that's how, Jai, Jai, Jai Sachinandana Gaur Hari. By using the potential case, Suta teaches other sages of the Puranas to do the same. So using a particular Sanskrit grammar called as potential case, which I'm also not aware. So he's saying that all others also should chant. So let us all together chant. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai also refers to the scripture because one can conquer samsar by studying it. So we'll be able to conquer samsar by studying this, and that's why Jai refers that. So the meaning would be one should then speak the Bhagavatam Jayam. In this verse, since the verb form namaskritya indicates that another action immediately follows, the word tata with the meaning of next would then be superfluous. This is again very technical. Let's not go. Therefore, tata describes the subject of the sentence. Tata is a past particle of tan, to spread words, to speak. Tata. Tata means to speak. Okay, let us speak. Thus, Tato Jaya Mudiret means the speaker should utter Jaya. This is the opinion of some. So here I have summarized everything in the chart. Any scripture of mantra we chant, the sage who revealed the mantra is Vyas, the mantra meter is Gayatri, the form of the Lord who is the subject of the mantra is Krishna, the beach of the work of mantra is Om, the Shakti of the work of the mantra is Saraswati, the Adhishtata Devata is Narnarayan Rishi, and the purpose of uttering the mantra is to conquer samsar. Sorry. Okay, any questions you have on this? Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, then let's go to the next verse. Text 5. Munaya sadhu prishtoham bhavadbir yat krita Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. O sages, Munayah. Munaya is Bahuvachan. That's why O sages. You have asked good questions. Sadhu Prushtoham, about what is beneficial for the world. Bhavadbir Lokamangalam, because you have asked questions all about Krishna. Yat Krishna Samprashno, by which the intellect is immediately satisfied. Yenatma Suprasidati. So in this verse, Suta is first offering his respectful obeisances to his spiritual master Sukadeva Goswami. He is offering his respectful obeisances to the work itself, Narayanam Namaskrityam. Now he is offering his respectful obeisances to the sages. So implied here is that whenever somebody asks us questions, we should offer them respects because they are asking questions about Krishna. So we should be very grateful to them. Not that we should think, oh no, oh, he's asking questions, I will be able to answer. No, I have the answers for this question. So by others asking us questions about Krishna, they are helping us to remember Krishna. They are helping us to understand the subject more. So they are actually showing mercy upon us. So we should be in that mood. So Suta is offering respect to the sages. Commentary by Prabhupada. Since it has been stated herein before that in the Bhagavatam the absolute truth is to be known, the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya are proper and just because they pertain to Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. And please remember that the first two questions are seminal questions, as we discussed. The rest four questions are pertaining to Krishna. Why did Krishna take birth in the womb of Devaki? Tell us the avatar katha, and in the form of Purusha avatar and Leela avatars. And then when Krishna is gone, departed to his abode, where has Dharma taken shelter? So these all other four questions are pertaining to Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the personality of Godhead says that in all the Vedas, there is nothing but the urge for searching after him, Lord Krishna. Thus, the questions that pertain to Krishna are the sum and substance of all Vedic inquiries. Now, Prabhupada brings out this in the second paragraph, Prashna. Prashna has to be asked only philosophical questions. There's so many questions and answers we ask, but we cannot get satisfaction by that. Questions should be asked about Krishna. So Prabhupada brings out that in the second paragraph. The whole world is full of question and answers. The birds, beasts, and men are all busy in the matter of perpetual question and answers. In the morning, the birds in the nest become busy with questions and answers. And in the evening, also the same birds come back and again become busy with question and answers. So what are the question and answers of the birds? Anyone knows? What are the question and answers of the birds? What do birds are as question and answers? Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In some of the explanations, Prabhupada has given that birds are very anxious to know where they can get food.
Yes. Where Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maitun. Only these four. Their questions are only limited to these four, not about dharma. The human being, unless he is fast asleep at night, is busy with question answers. The businessmen in the marketplace are busy with question and answers, and also the lawyers in the court and the students in the schools and colleges. The legislators in the parliament are also busy with question and answers. And the politicians and the press representatives are all busy with question and answers. Although they go on making such question and answers for their whole lives, they are not at all satisfied. Yat Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasiditi. Satisfaction of the soul can only be obtained by questions and answers on the subject of Krishna. Yat Krishna samprashno. Krishna is the most intimate friend, father, master, son, and the object of conjugal love. So Prabhupada is mentioning all the rasas here, dasya, vatsalya, and madhurya, and sakya also. Forgetting Krishna, we have created so many objects of question and answers, but none of them are able to give us complete satisfaction. All things but Krishna give temporary satisfaction only. So if we are to have complete satisfaction, we must take to the question and answers about Krishna. Yat Krishna samprashno. We cannot live for a moment without being questioned or without giving answers. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam deals with question and answers that are related to Krishna, we can derive the highest satisfaction only by reading and hearing this transcendental literature. So there are question and answers asked by the sages. We have to simply hear and read them. And to understand what are the question and answers of the sages and the replies, to get a better clarification, we ask questions. That's how it is. One should learn the Srimad Bhagavatam and make all-round solution to all problems pertaining to social, political, and religious matters. Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna are the sum total of all things. Prabhupada commentary. Let us go now to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary. It has been previously said that Sut respects the words of the sages. So in 1:1, if you remember, in 1:1, Sut Goswami, Monoyo Sadhu Prashtoham Bhavatbir, I'm sorry, reading that. Iti Samprashno Samrishto Vipranam Romaharshane Prati Pujas Vachastesham. Prati Puja means he offered his thanks or he respected the words of the sages. And then he started speaking. So how did he offer his thanks? That is being mentioned here in the 5th verse. Oh, sages, you have asked wonderful questions. So that is, Suta's respects the words of the sages. This verse describes that respect. That respect, what is there? It is being described. Oh sages, the questions are very good because I have been asked about what is auspicious for the world. Bhavadbir Lokamangalam. Why is that good? You have asked questions about Krishna, all sorts of Krishna questions about Krishna, some Prashna. And why is that good? By such questions about Krishna, the intellect becomes satisfied. Yat Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasiditi. Only Krishna samprashno can give satisfaction to the soul. It is my experience that by such questions about Krishna alone, immediately the intellect becomes satisfied. Okay. After, respecting the sages by this verse, now he starts answering the question of the sages. And this is one of the most important verses in the Bhagavatam. And today, let us see whether we can cover Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on this, because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary on this is quite elaborate and it is very, very important. But let us first cover Prabhupada's commentary on this. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshajay ahetukya apratiyata yayatma suprasidati. This is Prabhupada's, this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's translation. The supreme dharma for all human beings. Savai pumsan paro dharma. The paro dharma is what? Sadhana bhakti. One should perform sadhana bhakti. Is that by which prema bhakti to the Lord arises. Yatho bhaktir adokshaje. So here the bhakti which is there in the second line, bhakti is prema bhakti and paro dharma is sadhana bhakti. So Prabhupada in his translation is giving a little differently, but the supreme occupation, dharma for all humanity, is that by which men can attain loving devotional service. Loving devotional service is prema bhakti. And the supreme occupation is to perform bhakti. But Vishnu Chakra Thakur is making clear. Sadhana bhakti by which one can attain prema bhakti. And then Prabhupada says such devotional service must be unmotivated, ahetuki, and uninterrupted, apratiyata, to completely satisfy the self. Yenatma suprasiddhi. So Vishnu Chakra Thakur is saying here different. That sadhana bhakti, that is the supreme dharma for all living beings, paro dharma, by which one can attain prema bhakti, which is not caused by anything other than itself. Ahitukya. So bhakti causes bhakti. Bhakti cannot be caused by anything else. So that's why the independent nature of bhakti is being established here, which is not caused by anything other than itself. Ahetukya. So when we study the commentary of Vishnu Chakra Thakur, it will become more clear. Cannot be obstructed, apratiyata, and which satisfies the mind completely. Yenatma suprasiddhi. So let's first go to Prabhupada's commentary. In this statement, Shri Suta Goswami answers the first question of the sages of Naimisharanya. What is the ultimate benefit for all humanity? So Prabhupada says this is the first question. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur says it is the second question answer. And for many years, I was breaking my head in trying to understand whether it is the answer to the first question or the second question. But both Vishwanath Chakra Thakur and Jiva Goswami made it clear that it is the answer to both first and second question. And especially this answer goes on till 1 to 22, till the 22nd verse. This answer goes on. So that's why it has become more clear for us. So it is answer to both first and second. Prabhupada is saying here first. Let us go to the commentary. The sages asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential part so that fallen people or the people in the general might take easily it up. So in the second line of the commentary by Prabhupada, the sages had asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures. Where this question the sages had asked, please think about it for a moment and tell me. Where the sages had asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential part. Anyone? Think about it. Those who have attended the first 6 questions seminar should definitely know this. Where the sages had asked this question. Tirthpath Prabhuji, where they had asked this question. That is not a question. Tirthpath Prabhu is here with me. He's saying Prayan Alpayusha Sabya. But that's not the question of the sages. Let's go to first chapter. It's so important to study Prabhupada's commentary very, very carefully. So the first question is Tatra Tatra Anjasa Ayushman Bhavata Yad Vinishchitam Pumsam Ekanta Shreyas Tanna Samsitum Arasi. Tatra Tatra, all those scriptures what you have studied, and you have ascertained what is the highest benefit for humanity. So this is here in 119. And also, it is there, Bhuri Bhurini Karmani. You have all these various scriptures you are studying. And Ata Sadhu Atra Tat Saram. What is the essence? Samudritya. And you can tell us by which the intellect can be satisfied. So here you can see uh, it refers to verse 119 and also 11 in one sense. But specifically, Prabhupada is referring here 119. Okay, why is my... Oh, sorry, it had somehow muted. I don't know why. Okay, I hope it is clear. The Vedas prescribe two different types of occupation for human being. One is called as the Pravritti Marg, or the path of sense enjoyment, and the other is called Nivritti Marg, the path of renunciation. Anyone knows what is the Pravritti Marg and the Nivritti Marg? Which are the different types of yoga which are practiced in Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg? The path of enjoyment and the path of renunciation. Which is the Pravritti Marg and the Nivritti Marg? Anyone knows? Anyone? Okay, let us see. Virendra Yadav Prabhuji, yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, it is Pravritti mark means Karmakandik mark and Nivritti is Gyan mark. That one.
Excellent. Pravritti Marg is path of sense enjoyment, that is Karma Kanda. Nivritti Marg is the Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, path of renunciation. Now, Prabhupada differentiates between the two. The path of enjoyment is inferior. The path of sacrifice for the supreme cause is superior. The material existence of the living being is the diseased condition of actual life. Actual life is spiritual existence of Brahma Bhuta existence, where life is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Material existence is temporary, illusory, and full of miseries. There is no happiness at all. There is just a futile attempt to get rid of miseries, and temporary cessation of misery is falsely called happiness. Beautiful definition of happiness. Prabhupada is saying, temporary cessation of misery is happiness. Temporary cessation of misery is called as happiness. This is the definition of happiness Prabhupada gives. This is, the classic example we give of the king who punishes the criminal. He is caught by his neck, and the jail superintendent pushes him under the water, and he's gasping for breath. He's suffering miserably, and then he's about to die. He lifts him up, and for a moment, wow, what a relief! And then again he's pushed inside. So the temporary cessation of misery, for some time we feel some relief and we think we are happy. But that's also miserable. Therefore, the path of progressive material enjoyment, which is temporary, miserable, and illusory, is inferior. So karma kanda is, Prabhupada is completely negating it. But devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which leads one to eternal, blissful, and all cognizant life, is a superior quality of engagement, occupation. So the superior engagement, superior occupation is sadhana bhakti. This is sometimes polluted when mixed with the inferior quality. So this pure devotional service is sadhana bhakti. Prabhupada is speaking about Shuddha sadhana bhakti. Shuddha sadhana bhakti can be polluted when it is mishra. For example, adoption of devotional service for material gain is certainly an obstruction to the progressive path of renunciation. So, if you are doing bhakti with some hetu, oh, I need some favor from the Lord because I'm practicing this, then it is not a hetuki, it is not Shuddha Bhakti. So, that is an obstruction. Renunciation or abnegation for ultimate good is certainly a better occupation than enjoyment in the disease condition of life. Such enjoyment only aggravates the symptom of disease and increases its duration. Therefore, devotional service to the Lord must be pure in quality, that is, without the least desire for material enjoyment. So, what is the definition of pure devotional service? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. What is the definition of pure devotional service? Yes, Priya Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्यम ज्ञान
An-
कर्म
yeah, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. No other desire except the desire to please the Lord. That is the definition of pure devotional service. So, if you are practicing your devotion, which is, with no desire for any enjoyment, gross or subtle, and even liberation in the form of sayuja or the four other which are favorable also, then that devotion is very, very pure. So Prabhupada is giving here the definition of sadhana bhakti, which is also uttama bhakti definition. One should therefore accept the superior quality of occupation in the form of devotional service of the Lord without any tinge of unnecessary desire, fruitive action, and philosophical speculation. So here in the definition of pure devotional service, what is Prabhupada defining here? One knows. We know the definition of pure devotional service. Anya abhilashita shunyam, jnana karma dhyanavritam, anukulena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. So in this definition of uttama bhakti, which line is Prabhupada quoting here? In the definition of Shuddha Bhakti from the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Which line is Prabhupada quoting here? Anyone? Yes, Priya Mataji.
Shriranam Bhakti Uchyate highest. What is the example?
Shilanam Bhakti Ruchate. Okay. Birendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, it is Gyan Karma Dhyanavritam.
Yes, it is Jnana Karmadya Anavritam. Jnana Karmadya Anavritam. This alone one can lead one to perpetual solace in his service. Can experience highest bliss. Now, in the last paragraph, Prabhupada, Parodharma, he speaks on Parodharma. We have purposefully denoted dharma as occupation because the root meaning of the word dharma is that which sustains one's existence. The living being's sustenance of existence is to coordinate his activities with his eternal relationship with Supreme Lord. That is, Bhagavan Sambandha Bhakti hai Abhidaya. To do actions in relation to the Lord. That is Bhakti. Krishna is the central pivot of all living beings, and he is all attractive living entity or eternal form amongst all other living beings or eternal forms. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Each and every living being has his eternal form in the spiritual existence, and Krishna is the eternal attraction for all of them. Krishna is the complete whole, and everything else is his part and parcel. The relation is one of the servant and the served. It is transcendental and completely distinct from our experience in the material existence. The relation of the servant and the served is the most conjugal form of intimacy, one can realize it as devotional service progresses. Everyone should engage himself in that transcendental loving service of the Lord, even in the present conditional state of material existence. So Prabhupada is mentioning in his purport that one should engage in parodharma, and that parodharma is what? Sadhana, the sadhana bhakti. One should engage in sadhana bhakti. That will gradually give one the clue of actual life and please him to the complete satisfaction. That will give him in Atma Suprasidati. So here everything I have summarized Prabhupada's purport in the form of this chart. There are different types of dharma. Para dharma is sadhana bhakti, which will lead to prema bhakti, Golok Vrindavan. There is the apara dharma, and within the apara dharma, there is the pravritti marg and the nivritti marg, which Prabhupada spoke in his purport. The path of sense enjoyment, dharma, artha, and kam, swarga, up to satyalok, you can attain. The nivritti marg is the path of renunciation. It will lead to moksha, impersonal Brahman. And then there is adharma, the path of sense enjoyment without following religion. That will lead to hell. So Prabhupada in the purport first spoke about aparadharma and then how this is inferior and the superior engagement is not even nivritti marg but paradharma, which is engagement in sadhana bhakti, and he gives the definition of sadhana bhakti or the definition of uttama bhakti. It should be pure because by practicing shuddha sadhana bhakti, we attain bhakti, prema bhakti. So that's how Prabhupada, writes his commentary. And before we go to Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary, do you have any questions? Any other questions anyone has? There are two questions, so we will take up these two questions. Virendra Yadav Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, here Hetuki, it refers to without any motive.
Yes.
And here it also in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur translation it says causeless, without any without any cause.
Correct.
So both are correct understanding. It should be taken without motive, or it should be taken as causeless.
Okay, so don't confuse between the two. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is analyzing this verse from a different perspective. And when we go into Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary, that time we will go more in detail about that Ahetuki. But Ahetuki, apratihata, Ahetuki means without any motive. That refers to Anya Bilashita Shunyam. And apratihata means Jnana Karmadya Navritam. The bhakti is continuously performed without any stoppage, apratihata. And that only can give satisfaction to the soul. So that's how we have to see. If you're practicing bhakti with the desire that I'll become free from samsara, this miserable world, then there is a hetu for your practice. So you should be free from bhakti spruha and mukti spruha also. Then only your practice of bhakti is Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti. And not only that, your practice of bhakti should be favorable, anukulena, and it should be continuous without any break. There should not be any karmavran or jnanavran. So like that. So I hope it is clear.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
I had a question. how to practice Anyabhilashita Bhakti in the ashram?
No, your voice is breaking. Can you be a little more clear?
How can we practice Anyabhilashita Shunyam Bhakti in Grihastashram?
How can you practice Anya Abhilashita Bhakti in Grihasthashram? There is no formula that Anya Abhilashita Shunyam can be only practiced in the Brahmacharya ashram or the Sannyas ashram. All ashrams should practice Anya Abhilashitam or Shuddha Bhakti only. So, whether one is situated in the Brahmacharya ashram or a Grihastha ashram or the Vanaprastha ashram or the Sannyas ashram, it doesn't matter. But one should, you know, uh, practice the angas of bhakti without any motivation, without any desire for, okay, I will offer this bhoga for the Lord because the Lord likes shak. Shaka kari aswadane. Say shaka Krishna aswadino. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu liked shak. So Gaur Nitai offer shak, a preparation, a vegetable, a leafy vegetable preparation. So I am doing this devotional act of cutting the vegetables, of cooking, of offering. All these actions, what I'm doing, are actions of bhakti. They are actions of bhakti. And they are done for the pleasure of the Lord. This is Anya Abhilashata Shunyam. But I like pasta. I like pasta. Please remember, I like pasta. So I get the ingredients from the shop. I make the preparation. And anyway, because I'm going to have the pasta, let me first offer it. And that time you should not come with the concocted philosophy. Oh, because Gaur Nita, I never have tasted pasta. They only ate, shak and lafra venjan in Bengal. They don't know what is Italian pasta. So now they are relishing that pasta. But who had the desire to eat pasta? It was me. So all those actions which are performed, they are not bhakti, they are karma. And after that, it is offered to Krishna. Then it is karma arpanam. Yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juvoshi, yad dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurusva mad arpanam. So then it doesn't become Shuddha Bhakti. It becomes Mishra Bhakti. So that's why Prabhupada in the purport is making it very clear. The quality of that devotion should be pure. I do all my actions with the intent to please the Lord. I am serving my spiritual master. My spiritual master, wants me to do this service. So just to please him, I'm doing that service. Then that actions which are performed are sadhana bhakti. If there is any personal motive or there are unlimited desires in the heart, you know that because of samskars, and based on that, I do actions, then that actions are motivated, then the quality of pure devotion or Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti definition then doesn't fit in. So like that, uh, we are conditioned. There is no doubt about it. Even in the conditional state of existence, we should start practicing sadhana bhakti. But by practicing the angas of bhakti, slowly, slowly, the heart will get purified. And then what will happen? Slowly, slowly, the quality of our devotion will improve. Like I'm giving you another example to understand this in a simple way. A big businessman who has come in touch with the movement, he starts practicing bhakti, chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And then because he has a lot of money, he gives a donation to the temple. And he says, okay, I'm giving this donation, but you should announce my name. So there is a hetu in giving that donation. Then, after a certain level of practice, he feels, it's not proper that, my name should be announced. Then he will give donation, but he'll tell, don't announce my name. So that is a little superior, higher level. then not only he'll give donation for the feast, but he himself will come and cook all the preparations and serve the Vaishnavas. He doesn't give just the donation and he, tells others to prepare it because I've given the money. So you can see there is different gradations and levels. So there are these higher levels, and we should get slowly purified and ultimately come to the practice of pure quality of sadhana bhakti. I hope it is clear.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other questions anyone has? Tomorrow we will take up in detail Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary, which is quite elaborate. That we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna.